for your little brothers, your little sisters.
Dollars in initial funding. You may be.
We're thinking about switching to CenturyLink. Is Prism TV any good?
So tonight, take that big brick right there, called a high school diploma.
That stands for high definition. You probably knew that.
And a secure retirement. Well,
tenía solo que ver con un proyecto cinematográfico.
Y me quedé a dormir ahí en un cuartito ahí más o menos.
Tengo en mente varios cortometrajes que yo misma escribo, porque además escribo muy bien, la verdad. Fue una tormenta de ideas y sí me puse escondidas al reclusorio con las almohadas, tal vez maquillada o con una peluca.
Get TV and...
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You all deserve the best.
Well, there's another celebration happening right now at the happiest place on earth. Let's check in with Olivia, who's there, taking it back 60 years when everything was black and white. Good morning again.
I gotta tell you, congratulations to those graduates, and congratulations, Javier. Great job, and I'm sure that they really appreciated your time out there for their commencement. You know what you should have said at the end of the speech? I'm going to Disneyland. What's better? I'm here with my friend Justin, who is a Disney cast member and the archivist here. We're standing in front of the cameras that were here on opening day 60 years ago.
Yeah, just like the ones from 1955.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it, taking a little look back in history.
Yeah.
What do you have here on the table over?
So I have a variety of stuff spanning the 60 years of Disneyland, but focusing on the early days. And we have some really cool souvenirs. We have the pennant from the early days. And
exactly. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And the 60th anniversary merchandise is fantastic. They've done everything. And Corey is checking all that out right now.
Yeah, they're going to stand. They're going to watch us stand in the
Summer. Summer is the absolute best, and there's no better tour guide when it comes to the Disney fun than you, and you've really been educating me in a big way. But we've got a lot of fun things laid out here, and everybody seems to come away from Disneyland with something. Whether it's ears or something very elaborate.
Well, it's our job to make sure they have a tangible memory to take home. So this is that extension. So for the Disney Diamond Celebration, we have over 500 items that we have for our guests that they can pick from.
Kind of a blue theme. I love it all. What are we starting with over here?
So here we have a lot of our bags. This is by Harvey's, which is amazing. We have our Dooney and Burke, which the ladies love.
Yeah, they do.
And then, of course, we have our Mickey, our standard Mickey. He's dressed for the celebration. Autograph book, everybody needs that autograph book to get those signatures. Fun consumables, this is popcorn. This is fresh candy that's done in our kitchen. So you can
I just gnawed on one of those. They're fantastic. Yeah, it was. Tell me about these ears. They look regular, but they're not.
They're not. These are the Made with Magic ears, and they actually interact with our 3 new Dazzling parade.
Everybody is so excited, so it's a great time to celebrate. Guys, back to you.
All right, pretty cool.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Mickey Mouse coming up.
Ooh,
Mickey,
the big man.
That's a tease. That's a tease. Well, our bodies, they do some pretty nasty things from time to time.
I'm glad you got to read that instead of me. There's actually a book based on the gross things your body does, appropriately called Grossology. And now you and your kids can tour the Grossology exhibit. The details when we come back.
Perfect lead into Rich.
The fireworks sparkle.
To go.
Change in the weather. I hope you can stomach it. I'll have the full forecast in just a few minutes.
And as we go to break, today's azfamily.com word of the day in honor of the celebrations at Disneyland, Geppetto. Enter the word for points and use them for discounts and prizes, all at azfamily.com. We'll be right back, Arizona. 9:40 is the time.
In your opinion, what really...
Sandra, I got to go to you, our economics girl, our business gal. This is a scary reality because how many people are going to come out, first job, and earn $100,000 a year? That's not likely.
So I love the example that's provided here from Trulia. In Atlanta, the median salary for a new graduate is about $25,000 per year. If you're only making that much, then you can only rent rent a place that's $660 or less per month. Okay, this is based on this whole 31% spending ability on your rent based on what you make. That means that you can only afford 8.7% of the homes for rent in Atlanta right now. As a college graduate making the average salary in Atlanta, you have a very slim shot at finding someplace that you can afford to live.
So Kennedy, what are they supposed to do? Because these recent grads get a bad reputation because they go back and live at home with mom and dad, or they seek help from mom and dad. A lot of people say, well, do it on your own, do it on your own.
Yeah.
How can you do it on your own if you live in a city like New York City, where you come out, you're working hard, you're making a salary, but it's just not enough to pay your bills and your rent?
Well, then you're going to have to, you are going to have to suck it up and live at home and stay with mom and dad for a while and try and save up some money until you get promoted up the chain. But this is really nothing new. I mean, a lot of people, when they enter the job market for the first time, they've got roommates. I mean, that's what you do when you're single and newly minted. And if we didn't have that model, we wouldn't have had friends.
That's true. I'm concerned that the problem, Judge, is getting
the TV
worse.
show.
You know, oh, that's my favorite show. I missed that.
I thought you meant our morning show. Fox and Brent, never mind.
It's not a 1-2 punch. It's actually
I don't think they're roommates.
It's actually a 1-2 punch with an uppercut, because a lot of them are leaving college with big student loans too.
Right,
so in addition to their rent and all their expenses, they've also got to pay back the student loans. Some of which start charging you interest year one, even before you ever graduate.
So it's almost, you feel defeated before you even get out and start. And I talked to a lot of these college kids. I've taught college kids recently that have just said, I feel like even if I get a good job, I'm still going to have to dig my way out of so much stuff. It's not going to be until I'm 35 or 40 that I can even feel like I have a little bit of a savings.
And you mentioned,
or can buy a house or anything like that.
And you mentioned having to live in D.C. and not being able to get by without $100,000. Alcee Hastings can't get by without $170,000.
Yeah.
I mean, even with $170,000. So it's apparently a lot worse.
I agree with Kennedy, though. Let's don't be the victim here. I mean, it's always tough when you first graduate and get out of college. You got to find a way to make things worse. But
everybody scrapes.
This group does have it much differently in that the price of just about everything has been going up, whether or not Kennedy and I can argue whether or not the Federal Reserve is acknowledging that there's inflation or not. That's a big topic.
Or if they should be abolished.
Right, or yeah,
that's a discussion.
We're talking about the Federal Reserve, not inflation.
It's so hot when you guys...
Get rid of it with mold and mildew stain.
Interactive exhibit all about barf. And we're not going to show you that because you might be eating breakfast, but we are going to talk about urine. Chase, you're in the game. What's this one?
So this is an interactive game where you actually get to become the kidney and separate the good stuff and the bad stuff and send it on its way of how it exits the body. Yep.
Okay, so you stand in front of the green screen, which we have at the station. We're familiar with that.
You're the kidney, and then you pass, water through the urethra, and then you keep blood cells and sugar inside your veins and stuff.
Is this the first time you guys have brought this exhibit to the Science Center?
This has actually been, I think this is our third time. It is so popular, and this has been about 10 years.
Wasted 10 million
income on stuff that they can't even recoup.
Right.
It's, I mean, it's not like they're buying homes with it.
Right. What would your advice be? I'm curious, because you do have young kids. What would your advice be?
Live with less now and save your money.
Yeah.
Or maybe put off college until you can afford it, or until you know what you really want to study.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay, we're going to move on. We are covering Fox News Alert, that situation with the emails coming out. Benghazi emails. We know of the 55,000 pages that Hillary Clinton turned over from when she was Secretary of State for that 40
in it, and it helps produce our burps and stuff. So whenever you're having the soda and you let out a big one, that's why.
Worked at Disneyland before making it big? Kevin Costner as various characters in Main Street's
Internet, teléfono y televisión.
Absolutely love it.
All right, and last but not least, yes, we have to talk about the intestines and the colon.
The giant slide, yeah, where you actually, it's called poo to you.
They call me when they were naming this thing. All right, let's go in the big intestine and talk about grossology. It opens Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, and it goes all the way through September. A little bit of an extra fee in addition to your Science Center general admission, but all that information is on their website, which we'll put on our website as well. Back to you guys.
Yeah, from poo to you to weather. Here we are, beautiful outside. Have a few clouds.
I want you to take me there.
Take you where?
Where'd you get this? Who are you, kid?
In tomorrow
Tomorrowland, George Clooney plays a brilliant scientist who's now jaded and lost his way. A young girl who stumbles into his path turns out to be the one person he's been searching for to save the planet.
There's one way in. They know we're coming, so follow.
All the people, why me?
He thinks you could fix the future.
Clooney signed up for this project because he liked the positive message.
I love the idea that it felt like really like a Disney film, not like Disney films that you see now, which are great, but like a real, like wonderful world of Walt Disney, where the future is not inevitable, you know, that there is something you can do to change it if you get involved. All the sort of things that were sort of in the Eisenhower years of, you know, the positivity of it all. And I liked all of that. And I think, you know, we've all seen, and we can turn on television.
Disturbance that's embedded. It's right over in Southern California.
800-721-6800. Ratatouille.
He talks to you like you probably talk to him.
What are my treatment options?
So he'll be like, and you know, you'll do a take, and you'll see him over there, and you see him playing you in his head. He'll be like, and then you'll go, so you want me to do it like that? You know, like a, and I go, yeah, I got it. So it's so funny. He plays all the characters out in his head.
In addition to George Clooney, the cast includes Hugh Laurie and Tim McGraw.
Dad, I just need you to look at this. Does it look weird?
McGraw plays a NASA engineer who helped build up the space program, but his job is to dismantle it.
I like the heart that this film has, I think, as much as anything. When I read the screenplay, it's got all the cool bells and whistles. It's got all the things that are fun and the things that are entertaining and things that keep you your
Select quote secret.
Yeah, we should have already hit it, right? Well, one person is going to have a very good Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, and we mean very, very good, because they'll become a millionaire. Tara Hitchcock, where Barrows Neurological is located, and you're revealing the $1 million winner, right, of the Health and Wealth raffle.
Drum roll, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Twice a year now, I've been involved with the Health Wealth raffle since 2012, after my stepson had life-saving brain surgery here at St. Joe's in Barrows. So this is a huge day. We give away $1 million twice a year for the Health Wealth raffle, and they've raised over $50 million over the course of over 10 years of doing this. It's a great cause. I love it. And today's the big day. So let me set the scene here. Somebody here has won $1 million. We got Mike, Michelle, Brendan, who also brought
Someone like you for a very long time.
Why? Did something happen over there? Something bad?
They following you here?
There you go.
That's pretty good. All right.
So what else is happening in the movie world?
Well, Michael Dixon is with Kristen right now. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, you guys. You look great. You're doing such a great job there at Disney.
Yeah. Thank you.
Listen, I got to tell you, I was at Disneyland the second day after it opened.
No kidding.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
When you told me that, I was like ever?
Yeah,
like,
ever. There were not enough drinking fountains, and the trees were very short. You know, but it was the most incredible experience any of us had. What Disney had done was, for the year, a whole year ahead of time, you have this weekly show called Disneyland, and it was all about, we had shows, he's got, you know, cereals and everything else, but he also gave you a progress report on how the thing was coming. So when it opened, everybody wanted to go.
Oh my God.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
That's exactly what I said. We watched it. Yeah, watched the progress of them building Disneyland. Yeah.
So cool.
So,
okay,
movies.
So movies, yes. Walk down memory lane.
You said you've been playing this for years, and you won a barbecue set a few years ago.
Yes, ma'am, I did, and I was darn proud of it.
We use it every time we barbecue on our trigger.
Well, you know what's funny? A lot of people say, all right, I have never won, or who wins this thing? So this is why I love these days where we give out some of the early bird draw prizes and, of course, the $1 million.
And watch the future disintegrate, or be optimistic and solve the problems. And that's what George Clooney was talking about just a moment ago. It really is about that, and the spectacle is amazing. There's so many things going on, but essentially a girl is given a pin, and when she touches the pin, bingo, she automatically is in Tomorrowland. How does this work? Well, that's part of the story, which is a little bit confusing, but this business about optimism and pessimism, it starts with George Clooney as a little boy.
That connect with conflicts of interest and so on and so forth. This is far ahead of the campaign really heating up at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, this now makes her look like a liar. That's a huge problem. Of course there's classified information on that server. Of course there is. Anyone with any shred of common sense knows that that was what was going to be revealed. The problem is she's come out many times and said that's not the case. So now she's going to have to answer those questions. And it's
bit much for younger kids, but they'll get past it. There's not that much. So Tomorrowland is a keeper. Go ahead and go and see that.
Okay, it's visually stunning, that's for sure.
Responding to child molestation allegations involving family members, and the apology is nothing short of stunning.
There are ones that she could have deleted.
Not enough hours in a day.
And today she and Cheryl Mills are something going, no, that one slipped through. Yeah.
It is, though. No, but as James is revealing those facts, it makes you wonder what else is on that server. That's all I can think about right now. Cheryl Mills.
The story is the same, about the family, the middle-class family moving into a neighborhood in a house that is haunted. A lot of things like that image of the girl with her hands on the television screen, a lot of those things are borrowed from the first movie, so you have that connection, all right? But they really take it to a level of scary in here that special effects back then wouldn't allow it. That was 33 years ago. Right? So anyway, so Poltergeist, you can do that. The next one, I'll See You in My Dreams. This is a wonderful, wonderful romance starring Blythe Danner and Sam Elliott, two people who are usually character actors and actresses, but who are put together in this wonderful romantic story, and I really recommend it. Now, the people this is going to appeal
or actually doesn't respond to things. Because how many questions has she actually answered from the press up to now?
I think we were at 8 last week. We were talking about whether or not the one where she walked away actually counted for anything. I'm being serious.
7.5.
Right? So rather than transparent, you're saying very opaque.
Yes.
Yeah. But again,
I really
go
meant
back to this
underhanded,
question.
actually. I really did.
Legal. So it's been reported that Bill Clinton paid for the server. Does that make it personal property that a judge can't get his hands on? Like, I don't understand why no one has subpoenaed anything for this.
Because property is personal property doesn't mean it cannot be
So why can't they go after the server?
They can. Remember I said earlier on, I don't understand why Congress moves so in a moment. Right. So if DOJ, if you're asking DOJ to start a criminal investigation and get a warrant issued, you're going to work a lot faster through our molasses-driven Congress in getting that server.
But then they're saying that it's politically motivated. They're trying to let this stretch out as long as possible. So it sends the committee hearings deeper into the presidency.
And then ultimately at the end of it, they say, oh, are we still talking about this?
I have a question for Kennedy. So you know that a high percentage of voters identify independent. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're not Republican, not Democrat, but they self-identify as independent. And we're seeing a tick down among Hillary supporters in Fox News polling that shows a bleeding of 11% in that one group. How does a scandal like this hit that group, do you think?
Well, I think what happens is over time.
Things I like about cable, plus a couple of things.
Your Piper Pizza. You go there, we'll hang.
People have made up their minds, but independents make up a much larger voting bloc, even though they tend to vote with either one party or the other most of the time. But there's so many now that are sitting there going, really? Like, what more is she hiding? And is she going to be plagued by scandals throughout her presidency? And if we get into World War III, how on earth is she going to be able to defend the country if she's busy defending herself and her lack of ethics?
And I think even though independents.
Excellent question.
And
they don't want the distraction.
An ongoing distraction.
Right, and we have ISIS. We have serious issues that the next president is going to have to tackle. The last thing we need is all of this nonsense, because it also would be, if she were the president and this kind of nonsense was going on, it makes us look bad that we elected someone who's involved in all of this. It's just drama,
Knowing
quite
it.
frankly. And also, actually, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Not just the looking
timing.
back. How about the doing the job part?
Yeah, you know, Harris, I wanted to you talked about political timing before, and I just wanted to bring up the problem for Hillary, I think, is that this is only going to get worse. So we could say, well, time goes on, people forget. I think we're going to have more and more breaking news about this. It's going to make her look worse.
More and more breaking news in the next couple of seconds.
Off,
Love it.
and it's a huge hit.
In a month, ask how to get a $200 pre.
We got to talk about our VIPs, and our VIPs are dressed to impress for a very important occasion. Am I right?
Yes. We've bedazzled the VIP characters, and we have one in particular who is the star of the Disneyland celebration, and he's right here with us. Come on.
It's Mickey.
This is Mickey.
Oh my goodness.
You'll notice
Look
he's
at
wearing
this.
these beautiful, bright, and diamond buttons, and his little, do a little turn for us, Mickey.
Mickey, you look so
Show us.
handsome.
Isn't that
Dashing,
adorable?
really. Dazzling, I guess, is what we're going for.
So all the characters have these beautiful new costumes that really speak to why they're so beloved. After 60 years, they continue to warm our hearts like no other characters have.
It truly is magical,
Yes.
and it has been so exciting to see all of these Disney fans walking around Main Street with huge smiles on their faces, and to have this experience, Mickey, I truly appreciate it. So happy anniversary to all of our friends at Disney. The celebration will continue for 18 months, 60 years. You look 20. Come on now. Good morning, Arizona. Have a great weekend.
Bye now.
Congratulations. So what are you going to be doing all summer long? Just camping out here?
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It really would.
Wow. Well, congrats on your recent graduation. And if you've not been to the park yet, what a summer to be here, don't you think, Goof? Oh, it's going to be
This is the summer. If you haven't been here in a couple years, you got to come now because of the 60th anniversary. So many new things to see and do, as we've been talking about all morning long.
The park is just decked with all sorts of beautiful things and adornments and things to buy and things to eat.
It's such a big, big deal that even Goofy got dressed formally here.
Oh, didn't he, though?
This beautiful vest.
I know. Look at the sparkles.
Just fantastic.
He matches the castle. I'm told that on the top of the castle, or on the all the turrets and so forth, 100,000 crystals up there.
So, and they're hand installed.
How'd you like to be on that crew?
I know. Well, it took a lot of people to do that.
A lot of patience, too.
Yeah. So this is a perfect area here for a photo op. As you know, there are many places around the park for photo opportunities with your favorite characters. And as you know, Goofy's my favorite characters on my Facebook page.
Exactly.
Yes.
And yesterday we had a little photo op, us out in front of the Matterhorn.
Yes.
And that's one of the many spots that you can go with your family, and then you can get that picture as a keepsake to bring home.
If you want to show people you're a mountain climber, that would be the perfect.
We tried.
Yeah.
We made the illusion of it.
So that's our show here, and we have to wrap it up, unfortunately. But we'll be back. We'll be back individually with our families for sure.
I owe my kids a trip now after they saw their mother here and they're not here.
Are you kidding? I got so many messages from my granddaughter. We got to come back. So. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Disneyland.
Fox 10 is always on fox10phoenix.com.
We celebrated America.
And he prescribed Lyrica.
Nerve damage that is helping and not criminal.
Well, it comes down to it raises the question, what is the adequacy? What is an
00100.
New or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or
Thank you so much for joining us for
problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
Now I have less diabetic nerve pain, and my biggest reason to walk calls me Grandpa.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica.
A suspect in the brutal murders of 4 innocent people, their bodies discovered in a burning mansion in Washington, D.C.
A wealthy businessman, his wife, their young son, and a housekeeper all killed. Darren Wint was arrested last night in Washington after a massive manhunt and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. He's due in Superior Court this afternoon, and that's where Leland Vittert is standing by live. Leland?
Jenna, the U.S. Marshal Service tells me that Darren Wint has arrived at the courthouse. It'll likely be about 3 p.m. Eastern by the time they go through all the arraignments
between Ramadi and Baghdad.
J-Will. We love you so much at this show. We're so happy
and
that
somebody,
you are our EP. And it's someone else's birthday,
Somebody
too.
else's birthday.
It's Kelvin, our floor
What? The confetti just dropped on the guy, too.
You guys have seen Kelvin on the show today, before, haven't you? We love your outfit. We love what you're wearing,
It's
Kelvin.
amazing that these two wonderful people are sharing my birthday.
It's not your birthday, Brian. It's his birthday every day, but it's actually not.
No,
all right.
it's not my birthday.
Happy birthday to all those people, Kelvin and J-Will. We love you both very much. All right, let's move on. Here is what you are sharing today. 6 Baltimore police officers have been indicted by a grand jury on charges connected to the death of Freddie Gray. Now, Gray died last month after allegedly suffering a traumatic spinal injury while in police.
They don't think that Wint could have committed these crimes alone.
One of the most important is that when he was taken into custody, there were several other people taken into custody with him. If they're not tracking anybody, that could be a signal that is saying we already have them in custody. So I